As a lifelong Gears of War fan, I think I could speak for all the fans when I say, remaster the second and third one. This one didn't need another remaster. Originally I wasn't going to play Reloaded, it looked like it was just the Ultimate Edition again, but with slightly prettier graphics. Someone at Xbox must have thought the same thing, because they gave you Reloaded for free if you own the Ultimate Edition, which is just lovely. It does make me question though why this couldn't have just been an update to the Ultimate Edition. But hey, at least it gave me an excuse to play through Gears 1 again. I won't be going over the multiplayer, it's there, it's fun, I get exploded a lot. I'm not really a PvP guy, so I'll focus on the Gears of War campaign. A bit of quick context, I have been playing these Gears of War games since they came out back in 06. Gears was always the go-to co-op game for me. I played it with friends, I played it with my brothers, even my dad. Little Overnight Tom thought the trilogy was the dog's bollocks. And I kinda wish it ended there. The less said about Gears 5 the better. So is the campaign worth replaying, or is it just a prettier nostalgia trip? So what's it about? You fill the boots of Marcus Phoenix. He gets sprung from prison by Dom Santiago, his best bro. The Cog needs them to deliver a bomb to stop the Locust Horde once and for all. That is the basics. The campaign has a mix of big set pieces contrasted with quieter moments. It strikes the balance well. After a big battle defending the Stranding, you'll have a slow trek through an abandoned factory. It allows the tension to release and gives it time to build back up again. This is why the campaign is still so engaging to play through. It has a lot of walk and talk bits. This used to be a smart way to hide load times. You'll slow to a walk and the squad will chat over comms. I don't mind them too much because I enjoy the writing, but it would have been nice if these were skippable in this version after you've heard them once. The original Gears created the era of cover shooters. I know I wasn't the first one to do it, but after this game it felt like every big game had to have a cover mechanic. It was really good when it came out and I'm happy to say it still holds up. So the way this game works is you can press A on any piece of cover like a wall or a box. Marcus will then stick to it. You then press the left trigger to peek out of cover to shoot. Let go of the trigger and he'll go back into cover. Just press the right trigger and Marcus will blind fire, which has its uses. He will stay behind cover and just shoot the gun around the cover. You'll take less damage but won't be as accurate. This is still a fun mechanic and it feels immersive. If you're in a firefight you're going to jump behind cover. You can move around when in cover. You can quickly jump to another cover if you press A and there is one nearby. This is useful because the enemies will try to flank you and keep you from staying in one spot. Double tap A and Marcus will perform an invade, very useful for getting away from grenades. If you hold A he will do a roadie run. He will sprint but still be crouching. This can be used to run straight into cover. It always looked a bit silly to me, like he pooped his pants he's trying to get to a toilet. You use B to melee. This isn't very powerful. It should really be used as a last resort. It's great to use against wretches though. If you have the Lancer equipped however, there's a bit more to it. The Lancer has a frickin' chainsaw built into the gun. Little 8-year-old me thought this was sick. 27-year-old me still thinks this is sick. You can hold down B to rev your chainsaw. It takes a sec to fully rev. Walk up to an enemy, you can rip them apart. Marcus will give out a war cry as it happens. Blood will splash onto the screen. It never gets old. You can't use this all the time though. Take one hit whilst revving and Marcus will lower the Lancer and he won't be able to rev it again for a few seconds, putting you in danger. You also have to think about when's the best time to use it. Once you start cutting through an enemy you can't stop. Nearby enemies will absolutely target you as soon as you are doing this. It's a nice risk-reward system. Another risk-reward system is the reloading. This is something that should be in every shooter. In other games you run out of bullets and you press reload, then you have to wait. It isn't something you really think about and is a bit boring. Gears solves this problem. Whilst reloading, a little bar will appear under your gun in the top right. This shows you how long until your gun's reloaded. There is a little white box on the bar. If you press reload at the right time, when it's on that box, you will reload your gun immediately. Plus your gun gets a damage boost for that clip. This is great, it takes a boring mechanic and makes it interesting. If you don't press it at the right time, your gun will jam and it will take even longer to reload. Great risk and reward. The damage boost only applies to the bullets you have fired. This encourages the player to fire their whole clip. This stops me from doing my usual habit of reloading after every bullet. The timing is always the same. The Lancer's sweet spot is always about a third of the way into the bar. Each weapon has different sweet spots on their bar. This means you can master the timing with enough practice. You won't even have to look at the bar after a while. But you will still have to learn each weapon's sweet spot. I absolutely adore this system. You can only carry 4 weapons at a time, each correlated to a button on the D-pad. Left and right are the two-handed guns like snipers, shotguns and rifles. Down is for your pistols and up is for grenades. It's simple and easy to get the grips of. It just makes sense. You can see Marcus put the guns on his back. The shotgun is on his left, so you should press left. I like it. There is a fairly decent variety of guns here. Each gun is here to serve a purpose. Lancer is the assault rifle, Gnasher is the shotgun, Longshot is the sniper. My go-to loadout is left Gnasher, right Lancer, and the Baltic pistol, which is the heavy pistol. My brain cannot function if the Lancer is on the left, it feels wrong. The Lancer is the gun I use the most, it's a great all-rounder. The Gnasher is great for exploding enemies when they get too close. It's great when used in blind fire. The other weapons are more situational. The Longshot is great if you can land a headshot, the Locust head will jib everywhere along with a satisfying sound. I don't really use the pistols like at all, they don't seem to be that strong. Then there's the Hammer of Dawn. This gun can only be used in certain story moments. It's an orbital laser, which means it can only be used if you can see the sky, basically outside, and if the satellite is overhead when the plot allows it. There are some fun moments where you're stuck inside and you have to figure out a way to open the ceiling so you can use it. It is so satisfying to use. You have to aim at a target for a few seconds so it can lock on, then a big loud red laser comes down and eviscerates the Locust. You can move it whilst aiming, not far, but it gives you some control over it. The sound of it going off really tickles my brain. Add this with Marcus shouting, "Dom, drop the hammer!" It is peak. This quote might be in the second game, but still. You can pick up any guns you see, even ones dropped by the Locust. These are the more interesting weapons. You got the boom shot, which does exactly what it sounds like, it shoots an explosive. Side note, whoever came up with these names needs a raise. Long shot is shoots a shot that goes long. Boom shot is shoots a bullet that goes boom. There is also the hammer burst, which is the Locust assault rifle. It fires in short bursts, I don't really use it though. If it's between a burst shotgun and a gun with a chainsaw in it, I'm going to go with the chainsaw. Then lastly there is the torque bow. This is quite the unique weapon. It shoots an explosive arrow. The longer you hold down the trigger, the further it will go. If you hold it all the way down, the arrow will stick into the enemy. This is an instant kill. Very fun to pull off, and the sound of it landing is satisfying. If you're on the right end of it. I died so many times to these goddamn bows. Pop your head out at the wrong time and you hear the sound and you know you're done. There's nothing too crazy here in mechanics. What elevates the game are the enemies. The Locusts look cool and creepy, part bug, part human. Each enemy type has their own design, which helps you tell them apart in the heat of battle. Regular Locusts with armour on will have rifles. If they have goggles, they'll have long shots. Are they topless, then they will charge at you with a Gnasher. These are the basic enemies. I like how if you can do something, like use cover or a chainsaw, so can the enemy. It makes it easier to understand them, and fairer when fighting them. Next there are the upper tier ones. You have wretches, these will try to swarm you. They will jump around cover and climb on walls. They die quickly but are deadly up close and in a pack. There are explosive variants that explode when killed. These ones are black and glow yellow. Next are the boomers. They will always have a boom shot. They are slow and always trying to make their way towards you. You need to deal with them before they get too close. The boom shot is easily avoided at a distance but near impossible if they're on top of you. They take a lot of bullets to put down. Lastly are the Pharaon guards. They will always have a torque bow on them. You need to keep your eye on them. You can always tell when they are about to fire. You need to be in cover when this happens or they can one-shot you, which happens a lot to me. A fantastic decision they made is that each enemy type comes with their own sound. Boomers will always say boom before they fire so you know when to dodge. Wretches always scream when they are nearby. Pharaon guards always make a hissing sound. And regular enemies will say a few voice lines like Groundwalker. They do sound creepy to be fair. This really helps you know what you are dealing with even if you can't see them. Your squad are also helpful with this as well. They will shout if they see an enemy type. They are also helpful at letting you know if you've landed a grenade in an emergence hole. The Locusts will often come out of holes in the ground because they live underground. These can pop up anywhere. Only a set number of Locusts can come out. If you are quick however and chuck a grenade in one, it will close and stop the Locusts from spawning. It is a lovely system. You can make encounters easier on yourself if you are skilled enough. A lot of times the hole will be behind cover so you won't be too sure if you got it in. Your teammates will always say something like nice throw if you manage to make it in. Even if they're all down, Arnie will call in to tell you the hole is closed. It's a neat detail. Speaking of sound, the squad also talk a lot during battles. These voice lines will become etched into your brain. Marcus saying scratch one grub and throwing frag are locked into my brain. They could get annoying, but I think the voice acting saves this from happening, at least it does for me. The music and sound cues are still great. The main theme is still haunting. The music when in fights is loud and really gets you going. Sound effects like the perfect reload or picking up a collectible are still punchy and satisfying. Also, the way this game does collectibles is fab. There will be a Gears logo on the wall when a collectible is nearby. This stops you from just looking everywhere. You always have some idea where they are. For a bit more story context, Gears takes place on the planet Sierra, which has just gone through a long bloody conflict for the resource Emulsion, called the Pendulum Wars. The war ended when the COG used an orbital laser called the Hammer of Dawn, ruining the planet. Then just 6 weeks later, as humanity is trying to heal, the Locusts arrive from underground, killing billions. This game takes place 14 years after Emergence Day, E-Day for short. Humanity is basically on its last legs and is desperate. This is why they need Marcus's help. They need every man they can get. When Dom springs Marcus from his cell, Marcus will ask what about the other prisoners. Dom tells him he is the only one left. You don't really learn what Marcus did to piss off the COG so much in this game. There is a bit of mystery. There are hints that he shouldn't have gone to jail. Later in the game, the squad will go for a courtroom. Kim, the squad leader, will say there's a lot of history here, and Marcus will say a lot of lies too. This is actually one of the game's biggest strengths. They tell you through dialogue just enough for you to get what's going on, without slowing down the pace to make sure you understand everything. It's just 1 or 2 quick lines, like when you see Emulsion for the first time, Baird will ask, "How much do you think that much is worth?" Marcus responds with, "I don't think I can count that high." Just with this small dialogue, you know this stuff is valuable, and this is what everyone was fighting over. I feel like the writing in this game is underrated. Not so much in the actual plot, it's pretty much we need to get the resonator to a place. Oh no, there's a hurdle preventing us. But the character interactions are great. The characters are the star of the show, at least for me. They are still cool. Marcus is gruff, effective, and doesn't have time for nonsense. Did he ask to be sprung from prison? No. Is that going to stop him from completing the mission? No. He could have so easily tried to run when he was free, but no, he wants to finish the fight. I feel like one of the reasons he sticks around is because of how loyal he is to his friend Dom. We don't get much backstory for Dom in this game, but there is still a bit there. He's pretty upbeat considering the circumstances. He has obviously known Marcus for a long time. When they find out Cole was a thrashball player, Dom will say to Marcus, "We watched our one game together," and Marcus will say, "I remember you owe me $20. He will also comment on how Marcus's trial was a sham when in the courtroom. This shows you he is loyal to Marcus over the COG, and you really can get this from one line of dialogue. In Act 2, the squad is looking for transportation. Dom knows where they can get a vehicle. One of the stranded owe him. The stranded are humans who aren't a part of the COG, and are fending for themselves. They actually seem to despise the COG. Baird will ask why is Dom hanging out with the stranded. Dom will say he has been looking for someone, then Marcus tells Baird to cut it out. This sets up Dom's story nicely for the next game. Marcus knows who he's looking for and has got his back. You can just tell they are bros. The next member of the squad is Augustus Cole, the Cole Train baby, woo! This is the funnest character. He has so much charisma. He never seems to get angry or feel down, just constantly at a 10. He talks about himself in the third person as the Cole Train. He used to be a big thrashball player, which is just like American football, so he's got a lot of energy. In Act 2, Baird and Cole have to stay with the stranded, much to the dismay of Baird. Cole actually loves this though. They recognise who he is, they start treating him to a meal, and going crazy over him, which annoys Baird. It's funny. Cole and Baird are often used as the comic relief, especially in this entry, but they aren't afraid to have serious moments as well. It's not a super memorable moment, but it stood out for me in this playthrough. In Act 3, Marcus wants the squad to split up. Cole tells him that's a bad idea. Marcus replies very sternly, "I'll take that under advisement, now move." Cole then says, "Yes sir." I really like this moment. It shows Cole can take stuff seriously. Dom calls out Marcus for being a bit harsh. But that's how leaders need to be sometimes. This is war. He only recently became the leader, so he does need to show authority. It adds a lot to their characters. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but compare this to Gears 5 where everyone has one-liners and nothing seems too serious. I miss moments like these, men acting like men. The last member of Delta Squad is Damian Baird. He's a bit of an asshole. He speaks his mind freely, much to the annoyance of Marcus. Baird isn't happy Marcus got promoted over him, and will often throw insults at Marcus and Dom. He is surprisingly charming and pretty funny. Marcus and Dom will often insult him back, like men do when they hang out. Baird is also really smart, he is the tech guy. Baird has known Cole a long time, so he won't insult him much. It is such a perfect group dynamic. Each have personalities that play well off each other. This leads to a lot of memorable lines, like, "You think they know what we're doing? Well, we're not here to sell cookies." The dialogue is also enhanced by outstanding voice acting. Everyone does a bang-up job. Everyone sounds gruff and like they've been fighting for too long. John DiMaggio does a great job as Marcus. He is great at yelling lines, but also great at the more quiet, somber lines. Fred Tatasco makes Baird sound enough like an asshole without coming off as annoying. The Cole Train is the obvious standout. Lester Spent is clearly having a lot of fun with his lines. Characters outside of the squad are good too. Anya is your woman in the chair. She helps the squad out over comms. She's mostly serious but has a few moments of concern for the squad. Then there is Colonel Hoffman, who just seems to be constantly yelling at you. He doesn't like Marcus and he makes that clear from the start. Hoffman is Cog through and through. I like him, he has one of the most memorable lines in the game. Kim will ask him if we get air support and Hoffman will say, "You are the support, son." That line has stuck with me over the years for some reason. I also like how the humans have come up with nicknames for the Locusts like Grub, or the Locusts will call the humans Groundwalkers. It's a fun detail that makes the world seem more real. Well, I didn't think I was going to talk about the characters for that long. I was supposed to talk about the story. The characters are really that strong considering it's the first game. It's always why I prefer Gears to Halo. Anyway, the actual story. Marcus gets broken out to join Delta Squad. The Cog wants to use the resonator to map out the Locust tunnels so they can detonate the light mass bomb to destroy the underground network. The game has a lot of cool sounding names. It sounds a bit simple, but it's told well. The stakes keep getting raised as the game goes on. Like the resonator doesn't work, so we have to find a different solution. Or they add a time limit on for when the bomb has to be delivered. It really ramps up the tension towards the end of the game. The Locusts almost have the bomb, there's only 2 minutes left to detonate, and what do you know, the bridge is out. Just peak action movie stuff here. The thing that makes this Gears stand out for me is the more horror vibe it has. Don't get me wrong, it's still an action game. There's just a lot of horror moments throughout. Like how they introduce new enemy types. The Wretch's introduction feels a bit on the horror side. You enter a hallway and hear a strange noise. You look around and see dead bodies and bloody claw prints on the wall leading up. You have to wait for the door to be cut open, building tension. Then we get a Sam Raimi quick zoom in on a Wretch, screaming and loads of them coming through the ceiling. Your teammates are shouting, "Fall back, there's too many of them." It's a very memorable moment. Another great introduction is the Berserker. You get trapped in a building, Marcus starts to hear a noise and says, "Don't move." Beard says, "She can hear us, she can smell us." They know what it is and they seem a bit scared. No sarcastic comment from Beard, so you know this is serious. We then see a big beast of a Locust being led by 2 regular Locusts. They clearly are struggling to keep control of the Berserker. The beast then hears the squad, then violently kills the 2 Locusts by chucking them about like it's nothing. This noise scares one of the squad and he runs straight into the Berserker and gets ripped apart. You don't see this, only the shadow of it happening, along with terrifying noises. Absolute cinema. One more part I like is in Act 2. Night falls and the Krill will come out. If you're not in the light, they will come down and rip you apart like they are sky piranhas. It's pretty gnarly. You have to figure out ways to light your way, mostly shooting propane tanks. There is a cool part where you have to shine a spotlight on your partner to keep them alive. What I really like about the Krill is the fact that they will kill Locusts as well. They are mindless killing machines. It is really weird they never show up again in the series. I'm sure there's some lore reason for it though. This horror vibe sadly does not carry over to the Lost levels. When the original Gears got released on PC, it came with a few more levels in Act 5. Console players didn't get access to this until the Ultimate Edition. This was the main reason I wanted to play it. I remember being really disappointed by it. This time around I'm still disappointed. The game turns into a comedy bit. In this level the squad is being hunted by a Brumac. This is a big Godzilla looking thing with turrets on its arms and a big cannon on its back. It's a sick design. You would think the squad would be shitting themselves, but no, Cole runs up to it and yells at it to get him to chase him. It then cuts to Marcus shaking his head like, "Oh, that Cole train." It just needs a laugh track. Like, why is no one concerned about the walking tank chasing them? A little later on, Beard will message in saying the Brumac is gone, but oh no, it's right in front of them. I'm not against comedy in Gears. There was a lot of small moments throughout the games, which I like. This part just didn't fit the vibe the game had built up though. In the original, you go from the end of Act 4, you got the thing so the light mass bomb can work, and it needs to detonate soon. You go straight to the train where the bomb is. With the Lost levels added, the tension isn't as strong. It seems like there is loads more time than in the original. I've also seen the argument the original didn't make much sense. Why do you go straight to a train? I never had an issue with this. Arna tells you the bomb is on the train, I was like, okay, the bomb's on the train. The Lost levels don't really add much more context to this. Arna will keep reporting in that the train is getting closer to detonation. If I wasn't so familiar with the original, maybe the new levels wouldn't have bothered me as much. What didn't bother me was the graphics. What a smooth transition. The game looks great, the Ultimate Edition looked great, and this is the same thing. I don't think the original Gears looked bad, but that could quite easily be nostalgia talking. But this is definitely an improvement. Sharper faces, better lighting, improved textures, but still the original art direction. Nothing has been added or changed, it's the original but more realistic, and a little less grey. If you haven't played Gears, this is a fantastic way to experience it. If you already played the Ultimate Edition, then there isn't enough of a noticeable improvement to justify playing Reloaded, for the graphics at least. All of the systems, mechanics and smart design choices leads to a super fun game, which I don't seem to be getting sick of. Everything I described counts for the original version of Gears, but I do have a few problems with the remastered versions. The issues I had with Reloaded are also the same issues I had with the Ultimate Edition. It's a shame they haven't fixed any of these issues. In the original Gears, there is a small glitch that can happen when you try to kick open a door. Marcus will miss and you'll have to press it again. This is in both remasters. This one doesn't bother me, it's kind of a weird Gears staple at this point because it happens in all the other games as well. The biggest issue for me is that the remasters are more buggier than the original. The final boss fight just stops working for some reason. Ram starts moving and is invincible, so you have to reload a checkpoint. This happened multiple times in my Reloaded playthrough. This was also in the Ultimate Edition. When walking and talking, the characters' mouths don't move sometimes. Someone should have clocked onto this. They also made the AI way dumber than it used to be. I haven't played the original in a while, but I don't remember Dom being this fucking stupid. He will go down all the time. He will keep running in front of the same turret over and over. He is completely useless during the Brumac fight. He just runs straight into him. It's all of your squad mates to be honest, but you were just with Dom the most. They will just go screw cover and run right into the middle of the battlefield. And of course you're the only one that can get them up. The enemy AI is also stupid sometimes. They just stand out in the open. Or you just shoot at them and they don't move. This was ridiculous in the Ultimate Edition, but the fact it hasn't been fixed here is unacceptable. Ultimately, I still love the original Gears of War. The combat is still fun, the characters are excellent, and I like how the game does its world building. I miss games like these. Big men, big personality, big guns, and even bigger enemies. Take me back to the 2000s. Reload is the same experience with a prettier coat of paint. Definitely give Gears a go if you haven't. It might be a little dated by today's standards, but it nails what it set out to do. Time to rank it. As you can tell, I really enjoy Gears, so I'm thinking number 4. Vampire Survivors is fun, but it doesn't have the characters and the world building to top Gears. But I don't think I put Gears 1 above Eternal Darkness. I might have had more fun playing Gears, but the uniqueness of Eternal Darkness story and mechanics is just pushing it above Gears. But hey, maybe Gears 2 or 3 could beat it. Thanks for watching, hopefully the next game won't grind my gears.